Okay, so our next step is to have a look at synchronizing our start and finish beacons to the time that's on the laptop, which is very straightforward. So we've had a look at some of the hardware here, which we'll see in more detail a little bit later, which is a brief introduction. So now we're going to come over and have a look at the first bit of software, which is this guy called SciTiming. He's the config plus file. Really, we only use him for syncing the time on these guys. That's pretty much it. I haven't used it for anything else. The main event will be run on the other piece of software. Of course, you have the option then of using Google Sheets or Excel if you want to create an entry form, but we'll look at that a bit later, so don't worry too much about that. So what we're going to have a look at here now is we're going to use this guy called SportIdentConfig, and we're going to use it to connect the laptop to these guys here. So I'll just take one of these guys here. I'll take number 2 there, and what I'll do is I'll turn on SportIdentConfig first here. We'll pop him on, so he should pop up there. Just takes a few seconds. There he is, and we just enlarge him. So there's nothing happening there yet, so I'm just going to walk around. Again, I'll try not to hit the camera. And I'll take this guy, and I'll take finish beacon number 2, okay? So I'll open him up at the back. We had a look at that a while ago. So I'll open him, and I'll take the USB cable, pop him in there. So this is the one off the main charging one. Charging station, the big list, the big group of stuff over the big spidery fella. I just usually take one off. I'll take him off, and I'm going to plug the back of the other side of him into the laptop. Okay, so I just pop him in there, and he should pop up there now in a second. So what happens there is light comes on this guy. You can see the light is on there, telling me he's connected. And I just pop back to the laptop there now, and we'll see here. What has actually happened is he's popped up here. It says BS Series 11. That's the type of beacon that is. And it's actually got the code for it here, 303698. That's actually here as well on this guy. So that corresponds, you'll actually see there. It's kind of hard to see there now, I can't put it up too far, but there's a number here. Not sure if you can see it, but that number corresponds there with, I actually just pulled it out there. It's just popping back in. It corresponds with that guy there. So that tells me I'm connected, so I just click on that guy. It's just telling me, it's talking to it. So it's telling me that's beacon number 104. So that's definitely correct. If we look at that, it's finish stage 2, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says 104 there. So we know we're definitely on the right track. And all we need to do then really with this is we go to clock up here just to sync the clock. Okay, any of the other settings here I don't bother with. So we go to clock, and this clock here is the computer time. So 16:59:26, that's this guy down here. Okay, so if I click onto that guy, that's my computer clock. That should be the same. You can't see it there because behind that, but that's the computer clock. So I want to sync both of them together. So this time down here is the time for this guy that is connected to there. So you can see it's a couple of seconds out. So in order to sync it once I'm in here, once we're in clock, we just go, you can either go check time, I just usually go straight to set time. And that just takes a couple of seconds. And you could hear it beep there now. And now you can see these 2 times are synced. So you would normally do that the morning of a race. You could do it the night before. But if you did it the week before, you'll find there's a discrepancy of maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Now, it doesn't really matter because it'll be out for everybody, but it's better to have the correct time. So it's as simple as that. That's how you sync it. Okay, and when you're done, you can just disconnect it and sync the next one and sync the next one. So that's really all that's involved in that. So I can actually just close that there now, and I'll disconnect that guy from the PC, and I'll disconnect him from that, and I can close him up, and you would do the exact same for this guy, that guy, and the 3 start beacons on top. Okay. Now, if you were only running an XC race, you'd only be using just one of these, so that's all you'd have to sync. And when I was doing the non-races, I was just using that one, and I was syncing it when I was in the van. It was fine, and I could do it there and then. But if you're running an enduro, it could take you 10 minutes to do them all. So that's all you do with those. Okay. And that's really the only time I used the config plus software. I did one little other change right at the start, but that was way back at the start. Okay, so that's that guy.